Hello.
Let's see, I'm waiting. Everybody's coming in.
Okay. I can barely hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so okay. Can you hear me now?
It's a little better.
Oh, okay. Try again. It's the microphone's here. Let's see who else we got here for.
Hi.
Hi, wait a second. We got a whole bunch of people.
Okay, can I just say one thing?
Yep, sure
We're
you can.
having a little bit of a problem here, so I'd like to go first.
Okay,
Water. Hi.
Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody.
good, good.
Hi.
So let's mute yourself.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Uh,
mute yourself while you're talking.
All
Okay.
right, let me know though when you're ready to
Sure,
go.
absolutely, absolutely. Let's see.
Okay, wait. Where do I move?
Upper left-hand corner, it says audio.
I know, but where is that? Oh, okay, here we
Wait,
go.
audio,
All
click on that.
right. Okay.
Yep. Howie, move your camera a little. All we see is your eyeglasses and above. Let's see, who do we have? Everybody else
That's
here?
enough.
That's good. That's good.
Maybe
That's
too
good.
much, Howie.
Yeah, I've got a sunshine here or something going. Hi, Nance,
Hi.
Bruce, Liz. Uh,
Hello.
let's see. Hopefully, we've got more people coming. I don't see. No, it doesn't tell me anybody else is in the waiting room. It did admit all. Okay, well, we have a small group, but uh, thing here we
I'm here.
go. Oh, you're on the West Coast, or are you still?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay,
Sunday morning.
good. Yep,
All right, take this call.
yep. Okay. Steve, if you're going to be on the phone, mute yourself. So,
Yeah, no, I'm not going to answer.
No.
Answer the phone. It's Margie.
okay.
And go in the other room,
Yeah.
please.
Well, how's
Okay.
everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
We're,
I think we're still getting. Thought Julie said she was coming.
Yeah.
A couple of people wrote me and said they couldn't. But okay, here,
Yeah.
Kenny. I don't know whether he's coming from Spain or not. Kenny Blaine. Okay. I'll keep watching up there. Uh, anyway, I think everybody is normal. We're usually around. Danny,
almost.
you're in the States because I recognize the picture in the back. You're back from Spain, right?
Yeah, I just want to say something. I tried to log on with the meeting code and the passcode.
Yeah, you shouldn't need the passcode actually.
Well, I kept getting, well, when it's another way of doing it, join the
Yeah.
meeting, and I kept getting a error message for the passcode. I just want to say that.
Okay, I don't use the passcode. I can eliminate that from the next time. But you should just be able to go on the hyperlink. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I did.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
what I did is I cut and pasted the hyperlink on Google and it came right into you.
well, that's great. Well, welcome everybody. So everybody is home in their home, right? Nobody's
So,
Yeah.
so far.
yeah, nobody's checking in from the thing. So let's just go around the room at the moment while other people
Okay.
coming in.
I asked
And
Steve
I
if
know,
he
I
didn't
heard you.
mind.
I
Yeah,
heard
no,
you.
if he didn't mind if I
I
started.
heard you, Phyllis.
No, I know. I
Good.
just wanted to explain to the group that
Right.
we have no water in our apartment now. So it's a little crazy. Everyone else in the building does. Anyhow, that's why I wanted to go first in case there was
Sure. And
anyhow, it,
remind me where you are.
I'm in Scarsdale, New York.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
And
can offer you my shower.
thank you.
You're welcome.
We may need it. I just wanted to start off by saying that I am now in.
My daughter belongs to that group.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's
Okay.
talking?
Iris,
Now
go
that-
in the other room. All right,
Oh.
other room. Other room.
I just kind of wanted to check in with everyone and just let you know kind of what's happening with me and seeing whether any of you has experienced this. We're all in the same age group, if not the same age. So here's the story. I turned 80 in September, and my husband and my daughters had a surprise party for me in this small, nice little restaurant, and my family was there. All my siblings are alive, thank God. We're very close. You know, the nieces, nephews, and all the grandchildren, and some friends. And I looked. I still feel like the party was yesterday because I saw everyone in my life that I love, that I'm very close to. And this enormous sense of gratitude came over me. Look, there have been ups and downs, no question, but I'm still married 58 years. I still had a successful career. My kids are doing great. And so I'll just mention all the good stuff, and not the ups and downs. And I feel I've never had a birthday hit me before. This is definitely the best birthday of my life, if you can believe it. And I feel like the rest of my life is gravy. And I was just curious if anyone has, been kind of, also, I'm not afraid of death. I'm just afraid of suffering. I just wondering if anyone has had that kind of retrospective look and if it's meant anything to them. I mean, I feel still kind of floating from it.
Very good topic, actually. And I think we all are, give or take 6 months one way or the other, hitting the V8. I won't say much about me. I'll let everybody else talk, but this one concerned me more than any other year. It was just getting that number that started there because I know older people, and I call them, they're older than us. I've known a lot of these folk singers that I've met recently, and they're 85, 86, 87. Okay, but I was a kid when they were performing, or in college or something. And now I realize when I spoke to somebody the other day that once they tell me that they're 82, 83, 84, I said, well, we're all in the same bracket now. So I did not have a big party.
This wasn't big, it was small.
No. We have nothing.
33 people, that's it.
No, we were in the house. I'm also in December, so it's near the holidays. So you can't get in the restaurant in those times. So we usually take something like that. So we're going on a few cruises this year, and that'll be it. I don't feel that way. I'm feeling better when I see neighbors and all that and realize they're 72, 73, and they look old. I mean, old, bent over, etc. Everybody here looks fine. I mean, I have to say, no, I mean, seriously, you're walking around.
That's true. I mean, that is true. And we're lucky that way, I think.
I must tell you, getting on about 2 months before my 80th birthday, I started to feel, oh my God, I'm 80. And then the day after I turned 80, I felt a whole lot better.
In the sense of how I felt, or just that you were alive the day after?
Well, I was still alive, and my wife and I are leaving our area. We've never lived more than 13 miles from St. Francis Hospital. And Saturday, we're leaving for San Diego. We bought a house, and we're going to be on the West Coast with good weather. And it's a challenge, and we're looking forward to the change because we want to keep moving on. I mean, my wife is not that much, well, I won't say it in front of her, but she's much younger than 80. And even though she did not go to Junior 3, she went to Trenton High, and she was my sister's best friend growing up.
Right.
But we started the challenge and say, okay, we're going to move where it's a nicer environment and we can enjoy ourselves. And our friends here threw us a party the other night, and we had about 45 people, and it was just nice to see everyone so happy. I don't know if they were happy that we were leaving, but we were all happy. Everyone's happy for us, and we really appreciated it quite a bit.
By the way, Steve, I should have mentioned, and I agree with you, that when everyone left, everyone said there was such love in the room. But also everyone got up to talk, and they were hysterically funny as well.
That's
Yeah. One story, we were in Israel with our friends, and my wife got stuck in a Drew's bathroom and they couldn't get the door open. So they passed her an axe and she had to cut herself out of the ladies' room.
Well, you'll never forget that.
No, that's a great experience for her.
That's a keeper. That's a,
Well,
Uh,
we have new people, so I want to update them on what we've done so
we
far.
were just going to take a few minutes each.
Yeah, that's cool. Whose iPhone?
Steve, is there another passcode? Because I tried to get in on my computer and that passcode didn't work. I'm on with
No,
my
you don't need
phone.
the,
People use passcodes.
in the future, you don't need the passcode. You just click on the link. But you need
I
to,
didn't, the link would not come up on my computer. It came up on my phone.
good. That's why you're
So I
called
had to
iPhone.
Use your phone. Use your
I had
phone.
to put all the data in, and then when it got to passcode, it said it was
Go
incorrect.
down, go in the upper right-hand corner where the three dots are and change your name because we don't want to call you iPhone.
Okay, well, I'll just put it on my phone.
Okay. Who are you? I can't remember. Why can't I recognize you? Senior moment. Who is that?
Robin?
It's Robin.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, well, if you want, I'll change it for you when somebody's talking. Okay, so there's nobody in the waiting room now. We started talking about, I guess it was Phyllis started?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a retrospective.
right.
I
On
didn't
our
get what were
80
we
years on Earth.
Okay.
What
Hold on,
start-
hold on. Phyllis hold on. Phyllis brought up the question of when she turned 80, which we are all turning within 6 months, either did or will. And they had a party and how she felt about turning 80. And that's basically where you came in. At that point, I think Steve Daner was the next person. So that'll be the subject for a little while here. But if anybody has something they want to do 4 minutes on, as long as it's not politics, use the raise hand thing and we'll move to you, etc. So now we're talking about turning 80. Does somebody want to volunteer? And then I'll just call on people.
I'm still kind of amazed by it. You know,
That
I
Howie?
don't know what the hell it means, but
It's not just the
you know,
number.
I mean, sometimes I just say, "My Lord, you're 80?" You know, what the hell is that about? And I'm doing some work that has to do with work that I've done for the past 45 years. So I think about that kind of change a lot. I wonder if I was better at what I did then or if I've gotten better over the years. I don't know. Somebody else can make that call.
Well, I can sort of chip in. I'm basically, I guess most of them are retired, traveling, and whenever I start, I really don't. This is going to sound crazy, I guess. I really don't relate to the age. I relate to the quality of the life that I have, and what I try to remember is that 95, 96, 97% of the people who live in the world probably would love to have the lives that we all have. And whenever I, get down in any way because of little things that happen, I hold on to that, remember that, and I'm buoyed.
Somebody's got somebody in the background. Is that you, Stephen?
Yeah, I think so.
Someone's talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try and move a little bit.
Well, we're hearing her, not you.
Oh,
So
yeah, well-
if she can go to another room.
Well, I may have to cut off then because some neighbors are coming in to say goodbye before we
Yeah.
go to the West Coast. But I agree. I've had a wonderful career. My wife and I both worked in federal court as court reporters, and we don't feel our age, and we're just starting a new stage. But I'll let everyone go, and we'll get together on the next.
Yeah, you can
Next
sign
Zoom.
from the West Coast. So I just wanted to, before you leave, 1 second, I'm sure I shared it before and I'll be happy to share it by email again. But there's a guy that I've known, he's a ukulele player and he writes a lot of songs. He sells things to do with ukuleles. And he wrote this wonderful song years ago called Aging Gratefully, Gratefully. And I play that very often. And I think that's for us a lot of, it means a lot. So I'll be happy to share it with you, to share.
I just hope to see everyone in the Zoom from the West Coast, and stay well, everyone.
Have a
Have a-
good
have a
trip.
safe
Have a good trip.
Great
Uh, yeah, yeah, no more Di Lorenzos.
Yes, that's
Oh.
too bad.
All right,
Yeah.
take care.
You mean it's not even in Robbinsville anymore?
Well, there's
No,
two.
it-
There's one right in Yardley and one right in Robbinsville. We're
Yeah,
only
okay, I've been
no,
to the
we're
one
just-
in Robbinsville.
I
Yeah,
had
well-
planned to go to with them and Mickey Newman and Rochelle
Right.
and all that to do Di Lorenzo's and Yardley, but Steve's moving, so
Yeah, and you will not find good pizza there. We've been commuting back and forth for 18 years, and there's not great food on the West Coast, but there is really nice sun in the winter.
but there is a Facebook page called Jersey Pizza Joints.
Right.
Yes, and people
I've said-
from all over they'll find you somebody in whatever city you're.
Well, we'll be back for Di Lorenzo's. But all right, everyone, have a good time, and we'll talk soon.
Okay,
All righty.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
bye,
Bye. On the move.
bye, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Stephen,
Yeah.
Richard, Robinson.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, I saw the Bob Dylan movie last night with my wife, and that really brought back memories. Listening to those old songs, and it just and then talking to my brother. My brother just lost his wife to acute leukemia over the last 3 months, so that was tough. She lived down in New Jersey in Livingston with my brother. But we were talking, my brother and I, and things were, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I think things were better when we were growing up. I just remember in Trenton going out to Cadwalder Park, or going outside to play, and you were called when it was time for dinner. People yelled out and said, "Hey, dinner." There was nobody kidnapping kids, and there were no metal detectors at Junior 3, and on and on. I know a lot of things are better now. Of course, our health, medicine's really changed. But I miss those days when they were just simpler, just less complicated. Even traveling was less complicated. So
Well, it's
anyway, that's my
interesting fact. In about 3.5 hours, I'm going to a bookstore a few blocks from us, and now my friend, he's been a friend by email for years, but I then found he lived in Philadelphia. Elijah Wald, who wrote the book on which that movie was made, and he's playing tonight, and he's going to talk. He's written his major Dylan book. He's also written books about the blues, etc. And I didn't realize he was in Philly till about 6 months ago. So I've been in touch with him and talking about 80s. And I'm not name dropping or anything, but I was talking to the woman partner, I guess, girlfriend. In the 80s, do we call them girlfriends? I don't know. Of Tom Paxton the other night, as Tom and I are also friends, and he's been having a few health issues. But when I realized he's 87, well, that's only 7 years older than me. I'm in touch with Noel Stuckey, Peter, Paul, and Mary, who did play Ryder, and I have a picture from 1960 something or other. They played there. I mean, we all talk about who played in Trenton. And Richard Levy, I see your hand up, but I did want to tell you, I mentioned last month. No, Richard has his
Okay.
Richard has his virtual hand up. Anyway, I didn't want to tell you and just drop it out. I'll send more. I finally got the DVD for the movie Baby It's You. And it was released on VHS for a little time. And if you don't know the movie Baby It's You, it takes place in Trenton. It's written and directed by Amy Robinson.
Oh, I saw that.
Dr.
movie. That's
Robinson's
great
daughter.
I
movie.
think, didn't everyone see it? I mean,
Oh, yeah, that
Well-
was great.
that you had to
But
see.
my point is the Blu-ray came out. She talks through the thing. There's interviews with everybody that was involved in that thing. She talks about how much of it is her real life and how much isn't her real life. and I'm just loving it. I think it either comes out this week or not, but I have to do a review. But I do want to recommend it. It's not, as far as I know, it's not online anywhere anymore. It was by Universal. They tell a whole story about it, but it was just so fun. It was not filmed. It was filmed in Lawrenceville for the full scenes, and the rest of the time was in North Jersey because that's where John Sayles was from, the director. But and Matthew Modine was the other person that was involved in it. Anyway,
Can I say something?
yeah. What happened to
Where'd
Yeah.
Richard go?
yeah, where'd Richard go? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Levy, that's right. I'm sorry. It's your turn.
Yeah.
You were polite and put your hand up.
Try to follow the rules occasionally.
Well, you're a judge.
Steve Lenoble's coming. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Occupational hazard, Howie.
Okay, what were you saying?
I turned 80 in February, and my wife planned a very nice party. Unlike Phyllis's situation, the night before the party at 11 o'clock, we were informed that she tested positive for COVID.
Oh.
So that killed the party. All the people come in from out of town, my family,
Ooh.
end of that. But getting back to the points that Phyllis raised, I will say that turning 80 has not had, and as an age, as a number, has really not affected me at all. I mean, I'm so lucky. My father and his father both died at age 60 of heart attacks on the same calendar day, 30 years apart. So I've dodged that bullet, at least chronologically. But what
Richard, if I could just say, it's because we have medication now.
Oh.
And they would still be here possibly.
Well,
right?
quadruple bypass helped too. But what has struck me turning 80 is I'm much more aware of a sense of mortality because I spend so much time these days going to funerals and memorial services of people largely who are younger than I am. And I used to laugh at my mother who said, all I do is go to funerals. Well, now I understand, somewhat belatedly, but now I get it. So that's something that sort of sticks with me, but not as it affects me personally in terms of my health, but just looking around me and seeing people I've been friendly with professionally or personally or both who are dying. And it's frankly sad.
Yeah. Liz, let's hear from you.
No, it's Nancy, I think.
I think
Oh,
Nancy
Oh,
wanted.
Nancy, I know that's right. You had the real hand. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nancy, and then I want to hear from Liz. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going
And it's
back to the
it is-
Bob Dylan
Yeah.
comment, because I think I mentioned that to you.
I'll look around, see if I can figure out where it is.
Okay.
I think I lost you.
No, you're there. It's just Kenny wasn't hadn't muted.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah. So you were saying.
It stirred a memory. That film stirred a memory, and I Googled it to make sure my memory was correct. That when I went to Trenton State, when it was called Trenton State,
Right.
in October 1964, Bob Dylan played
part of the Zoom.
there.
Or is it?
Wait a minute. Who's not muted here? Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got him.
Anyway, I went to Trenton State in 1964
Yep.
in October, and Bob Dylan played at Packard Hall
Never
at
mind.
him, and I remember seeing him then.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's-
that kind of brought back a
Well, I
few-
may have shared the memory too, which is very fleeting and strange. I actually got to meet him and sit next to him for about 30 seconds. Back in the 70s, I was going to, I see your hand, Naomi, get to you in a second. I was going to the Philly Folk Festival every year, and I knew David Bromberg, who was a good friend of Dylan's, and somebody was on that evening, and I sat down on the hill, and David's sitting next to me. And then Elizabeth Cotton, who's the one that wrote Freight Train originally, she's an icon herself. She was on the stage, and it's dark. And David taps me on the shoulder and says, "Steve, I want you to meet my friend Bob." And I reach over and I sort of look, and it's dark, but I can tell, gee, it can't be him. It is him. At the exact moment, Elizabeth Cotton on the stage is saying, I love being at this festival, and I'm so glad I met Mr. Bob. Well, by the time she got the second B out of Bob done, he was gone. And it's history of the Philadelphia Folk Festival that he was there, tried to be incognito, and he wasn't. So, Naomi, your turn.
Hey, I'll comment on both topics.
Good.
Turning 80, I loved it. I kind of have a different focus on my life and realize that the clock is ticking a little faster on this end. However, I decided to change my focus and put in the things that are important. I'm better at picking out what's important, where I want to spend my time, who I want to spend my time with, and it has really increased my quality of life. And so I'm very glad that I'm 80 and continuing on that path. And I'm kind of used to it. I'm 6 months into it, and I think I'm wearing it well.
Well, thank you for choosing us to be part of your life. That's the
Absolutely.
way I feel.
And the other piece is I saw the Dylan film, and I went to nursing school at Beth Israel in New York in 1962. And of course, I was right outside the Village. Spent most of my non-nursing moments at the Village Gate, the Village Vanguard, Folk City, and remember going in there and seeing Bob Dylan for $5, or Peter, Paul, and Mary were just coming up. So when I saw that film, it really brought a lot of personal memories back, and the music was extraordinary. So I loved it.
Yep, it is great. I mean, who didn't see it? Maybe I'll ask that.
I thought it was like watching the gods and goddesses walk around.
Yeah.
And then you look for things like, where's Odetta? Well, when they do the stage thing for he goes electric, there's this body that sure looks like, the character. She doesn't have a word. She doesn't say anything, but you could pick out the icons that were there. Now, it was filmed in Cape May. All the stuff that takes place at Newport was all done in Cape May, and they hired the local people to do all that stuff. So somebody raised their hand. Was that Liz? Liz, let's hear.
No, you asked who hadn't seen the film, so I raised my hand.
Neither.
It's streaming somewhere.
I think Dylan it's a genius, but as a performer, he hurts.
It's definitely streaming, Liz, because I watched the quarter of it on the plane, and my Wi-Fi died, and then I picked it up when I got home.
Yeah.
So I have to say that Timothy Chalamet is much better looking than Bob Dylan ever hoped to be.
That'll be true.
Yeah. Way to go, Liz. Way to go.
I thought I was very impressed with how he did. He did well.
All my friends were saying that
his own singing. He did do his own singing.
Yeah, it was fantastic singing.
Right.
Okay, Noble has joined us.
Yeah.
Now with a camera.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a new haircut today, Steve.
Steve Lenoble.
Yeah.
The haircut is only 5 months old.
What's only 5 months?
5 months, yeah.
5 months what?
Well, he said I had a nice haircut. I said I haven't had a cut in 5 months.
Okay. To bring you up to date, the subject today, and I see Howie, the subject was turning 80, which started out by Phyllis, I guess, telling us how she felt when she turned 80. And then it sort of moved also into the Bob Dylan film, The Complete Unknown. And looking at the clock, we have about 15 minutes left. So tell us about you, Steve, where you're at.
80 years old. I never thought I'd make it. My father died at 42.
Mine was 50.
But, yeah, so it was a long time dreading 80 and the years before. Although I got to tell you, I lost the love of my life. She passed away after 40-some years together. And I've reunited with some of my children, which makes up for it, making up for lost time.
I didn't know that. When did she pass? When did she pass, Steve?
I'm going to tell you in a second. April 7th.
Oh.
A year ago.
Oh, wow. Somehow I didn't know that. Sorry. Our condolences.
Yeah, condolences.
Sorry.
Definitely. Yeah.
It took me a long time to find her, and sorely miss her.
How long were you
And-
married?
35 years, and we dated 8
Uh,
years before that.
all right.
Obviously off and on for 8 years.
Okay,
I
people.
did not see the Dylan film, though.
Okay. Well, it's streaming if you want to.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
only thing I can relate to music in the past
Yeah.
is when I was around 12 years old. I had a grandmother who lived in Brooklyn, and it would take us from Trenton to train into New York, and then from Manhattan to Brooklyn, separate ride. And periodically we would go to my mother would take me, we'd go to see a play. On this particular day, she wanted to see Goodbye, Mr. Chips at the Paramount. So we went in there, and after the movie, we're anticipating newsreel and cartoons and whatever else of those days you were getting, the doubleheader. But instead, the curtain went up, the screen went up, and out comes a guy named Alan Freed, who was the father of rock and roll. And I am watching Jerry Lee Lewis and
Ah, fabulous.
rock around
Crazy,
the
fabulous.
clock, Bill Haley and the Comets, and it was 15 different, 20 different acts, and he was one of the first to integrate the stage with black and white performers. So I had a great day that day.
well,
If I could just interject something, and I'm curious whether others, when they speak, could address this as well. I'm done with learning some new things, like tunes to songs. I don't want to learn another tune. My memories, I mean, obviously I like learning new things, although the times we live in are, are horrendous. But I found there's a certain quality where I think enough, things will go on, important to have a purpose, but certain things are nostalgia and they should stay there.
Phyllis, I would just say to you, shake it off, shake it off.
now, how many, I mean, Steve had to travel all the way to Brooklyn to do that. How many of you remember, and it's built in my mind because of where I was, there were rock and roll shows for 2 years in Trenton at the Capitol. First year was Chubby Checker,
Never
the
read.
headline.
I sort of remember that.
Yep, and I was hanging at WAAT. I still have all my WAAT stuff and things. I can tell you all about the disc jockeys and all that. I'm still in touch with one of them who's still alive in California. But they had just come out with the twist for purposes of Chubby as compared to
Fats Domino.
what?
Yeah, I was being funny with your Chubby, and I'm thinking Fats Domino.
Oh, no. It was, oh God, who's the guy that had the original song? Hank Ballard. Hank Ballard had the song, and then Chubby Checker covered it and he took it over. Anyway, I was hanging around the station, which was at the Stacy Trent Hotel on, I think, the 3rd floor or something like that. And they said, well, we have to teach people here how to do the twist. So they grabbed another lady that was hanging around and me, and I got to stand up on stage at the Capitol. The next year, they did the same kind of show. It was, with 100 different people. And Bobby Lewis was he had just had Tossin and Turner. And maybe 25 years later or something, back in the 80s, there was an oldies show in Philadelphia at the Electric Factory. And I went there, and Bobby was there backstage and so on. And I chatted, and he said, "You were at that thing in Trenton?" I said, "Yep." So they had it. And May 5th there's somebody has video or photos, I guess. May 5th was the anniversary for WAAT, and they had a free concert in Stacy Park, right across from the War Memorial, and the stage collapsed and got a bunch of people upset and so on. But yeah, those were.
When was that, Steve?
What?
When was
It would have been 60 or no, 59, 60, 60 is the end. I guess that's when I stopped doing it. And
Well, I listen to 50s music all the time. That's all I listen to.
but
I'm the only one.
does anybody else remember when they had a fallout shelter in the middle of State Street across from Mary Roebling's house. And the three of the disc jockeys locked themselves in for like 3 weeks. Remember fallout shelters? I mean, yeah.
Very good.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember
I-
that.
Actually, my husband was sent to Hawaii. He was an engineer to learn how to build fallout shelters
Wow.
way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seems to me as if I remember
Steve,
in
I think
the
we
little,
have, what, do we have 5 minutes left. And
Yeah.
I would just like to very pointedly
Yeah.
object to Bruce hogging the whole conversation for the last 30 minutes.
Really, Bruce?
What can I tell you? I'm the rest of you. I'm kind of bored.
Bruce, I didn't mean to wake you up.
That's okay. I've been listening.
I would-
I'm rather
I would
fortunate.
like to say that
Yeah.
turning 80, I just turned 80 last month. And so I don't know if it's anything like getting used to it. I sort of was thinking, remember when we used to think 80 was old?
it still is.
And I don't
Still is, Robin. It's
Yeah,
really
still old.
feel that way.
An
Also-
hour ago.
Well, that's
My
good.
mother is 100.
Wow.
God bless
God
her.
bless.
I'm protective.
God.
It was my 80th birthday. It was a fairly quiet affair, and I did have an aliyah at my synagogue, and I went out for dinner with friends, and it was a good event, and so I'm happy we're all here, and it's so good to continue to keep this thing going.
I agree.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
thank you, Steve.
I have to ask Kenny about the Celtics poster in the background there.
That's a story. I'm a big collector of basketball memorabilia, and I always wanted about 20, 30 years ago, I wanted an autographed picture of Bill Russell. But at that time, Russell didn't sign anything because of the racism in Boston. So I followed up and I found out that he signed with a company in California, and he was coming to Boston for one. I didn't have any pictures, so I called the Celtics. They gave me the number of their photographer named Dick Raphael, who was the photographer for the Celtics from 1956 on, when they first went into the BAA. I called him. He gave me a 8x10. I took it to Russell. Then Russell did a second show. I called Dick again, and he gave me an 20x10. And lastly, I said, "How big can you make it?" Because this is his negative.
Wow.
This iconic picture is his negative of Chamberlain being blocked by Russell. And he said I can make it 48x54, but you got to come up to the Boston Garden and pick it up. So I took my wife up there to the bar where they did Cheers. It was still in existence at the time. He gave it to me. I took her out to San Francisco where Russell and Chamberlain were signing, and I got them both to sign it with historical inscriptions. And I have it framed on my dining room wall. It's 54x48.
Wow.
Wow.
Very
How
impressive.
much is it worth on eBay?
I've got a lot. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff. I've got passes to Lou Gehrig's first 2 games of his streak, things like that. But I don't have my act together enough to even think about selling anything. I mean, my wife gives me this one room that's like a storage room, and that's it.
Well, that's pretty good.
we're under a minute
One
now.
whole room for sports memorabilia.
Yep.
I give her
We're,
credit.
we're under a minute now, so I just want to let you know, because I didn't want to talk about
But
vacations.
thanks for asking, Rich. I appreciate it.
Not at all.
I'm
Let
going,
me talk to you further about it.
I'm going to Tulsa for the first time next month for my, I'm really looking forward to that, seeing the Dillon Museum and the archive and the Woody Guthrie Center and a whole bunch of stuff. That's for a week. And then in middle of June, June 15th, we're off to the fjords and British Isles for about 3 weeks or so. And then we'll be back. So I'm going to try to see if I can squeeze another one of these in before Memorial Day. and maybe we can pick up some other people that, when I know a few other people really wanted to come and they came last time, but they couldn't get in. So anyway, less than a minute.